Hello awesome people, welcome to Paasolo creation video tutorial. In this video we are going to learn how to create a funeral poster and invitation card. My name is Solomon, and if you guys want to see more videos from me, please subscribe to the channel and smash the bell icon so that if I put up a new video you are going to get notified. And please, if you learned something from this video, make sure you give this video a thumbs to support the channel. Without further ado, let's jump right in. So first of all, we will create a new document, and definitely we are going to print it, so I will use A3. So under print, select A3, and we are going to get something like this. So we will start by developing our background. So with the help of my rectangular tool, I'll draw a rectangle around the whole background. Then I will double click on it to open the layer style. Then I will use a gradient, and a gradient, I want a color like this, and let me reduce. Then I will change this one to maybe white. Okay, then if you want to save any preset of a gradient, you can click on new, so that anytime you come, you just click on it and you see that it displays. So when you are done, click on OK. Then I'll create a new layer by clicking on the plus icon down here. So you see that a new layer is created for me. With the help of my pen tool, I'm going to draw a random shapes at the top here. So just click on one end, then I'll click and drag over the other end and create something like this. Then I'll click on shape at the top, and the shape is going to create for me. So I can give this one a color. So a color like red, like this is okay. Then I'm going to duplicate the layer by holding the Alt key on the keyboard, and the white arrow is going to join the black one. Then I'll drag over it to make a duplicate, but I don't really want any fill, so I'll click on the move. So I'll click on the shape tool, then I'll have the fill option at the top. I'll click on no fill, and then I'll come back and hold my control or command on the Mac to make a selection around that place. So from there, I'll add a new layer. Then with the help of my brush tool, I'm going to brush that area with a dark color. So alright, but I don't want it too much like this, or I don't want to color this place. So undo, then I'll click on Control or Command on the Mac I, Control Shift I to invert the mask, and then I'll reduce the opacity at the top. Let me increase the flow to 100%. Then I'll click on it once, just like this, to create this shape effect. So I'm going to get something like this, but you see that part of the black color has entered into this, so I want to hide that. I'll bring it here, and then I'll create a creeping mask. Right click and create a creeping mask. So with the creeping mask, you see that it is being crept to the shape. Alright, so this is how you can create a nice cool effect like this. Then from here, with the help of my pen tool again, create a new layer, and then I'm going to draw random shapes like I said earlier. So draw a random shapes. Okay, then click on the shape tool to fill that. Then let me change the color. Okay, then click on my new layer. Then I'm going to draw another one. Okay, so let me bring it closer to this. So with this point, I'll click, hold and drag to make a curve like this. Then I'll come and end my shape over here. Okay, so I think something like this looks fine. Then I'll click on the shape to create a shape for me. Then from here, click on the move tool. Let's see what we got. All right, so this is what we've had so far. Then let me change the color of this by choosing the red. And with this one too, I'm going to create a new layer, and then I'm going to do the same thing that I did here by drawing a new shape. Then I'll close the shape, then click on selection. So I want selection this time, and then I'll take my brush tool and I'm going to brush here with black. Okay, so let me make the brush bigger using the right square bracket on the keyboard. Okay, then when you are done, you can go to select and you can see deselect, and you can see deselect. Click on that and it is going to create something like this for us. Then right click on this and create a creeping mask to mask that. And then also I can add a gradient, so double click on it to open the layer style and add a gradient. So let's see what gradient we can add. Let's see. So I would like to add red combined with a gold color, a deep gold color. So I want the red to be dominant, so I will move the red on top like this. Okay, then let me change the angle. Okay, so because of the layers that we added to this, we can't really see what we did. So what we can do is right click and maybe rasterize the layer, and when the layer is rasterized, we are going to get the gradient and at the same time get a shadow we created here. So once more, I'm going to select my pen tool and I'm going to draw a random shape again. So I'll hold down my Alt or Option on the Mac to reset the path, and then I'm going to draw a new one here. Let me move this one to a place like this, and I can hold down the Alt or Option on the Mac to toggle with the shape to do any adjustment that I wish to do. So when you are done, just close it So when you are done, just click on the shape to add a new shape, and with that one too, I'm going to choose a color like this same red, and I'm going to make a duplicate, and with the duplicate I'll drag it somewhere here, then I'll rotate it a bit like this, and I'll change the color to something like this but more lighter, and then right click and create a clipping mask to get this nice effect. Alright, so basically we are going to use something like this as our base or as our background. So let me create another shape at the down here, and then I'm going to add a rounded shape also like this to it. Okay, then I'm going to change the colors to this nice orange color. Alright, so with this is going to be our background. Plenty layers, huh? That's what Photoshop can do for you. So I'll select all of them, just drag over it, and all of them is going to be selected. Ctrl J to group layers, then I'll double click on it and name this one as background. Alright, back to our design. I'll use my rulers. If you don't have the rulers, Ctrl R to bring your rulers, and let's try to divide this one into two. Then I'll bring in my image that I want to use and Ctrl T. Then I'm going to flip it horizontal and I'll position it somewhere like this. Then I'll try to increase the size of the image, and I would like to position it somewhere here. Okay, so when I'm done with the positioning, I'm going to add a layer mask to that. So I'll click on that, then I'll click on my brush tool. So here is my brush tool. Then with the help of the brush tool, I'm going to paint here with black. So I'll make sure here is black, and we have white here, so black will hide those places that I don't want. And I can use the square bracket on the keyboard to increase the size of the brush, and also I can reduce the opacity or the flow at the top here to nicely blend this one in. But okay, I'll satisfy with this. Alright, so from here I'll bring in this frame, then I'll rotate it and make sure it is straight. Click on OK. So I'll still position it how I want it, and at the end I'm going to reduce its size to a smaller one. Okay, then I'll leave it somewhere here. So I want it to be somewhere here. Then I'll bring in my second image, Ctrl T for free transform. I'll hover over the edge. I'll make the image smaller to fit the canvas. Alright, so this is how it's going to be. So let me hide this one, and I'm going to draw a shape around here, and I'll use the pen tool. So I'll click on the pen tool and I'm going to make a shape. So I'll click on the shape tool here. When you are on the move tool, then you click on the shape tool. It's going to make a shape like this for us. Then I can turn on the visibility for this, and I'll also bring this one on top. Alright, so from here I'll add a mask to the image layer. So here is the image layer, and I'll click on add a mask. So I'll add a mask to this. Then from here I'm going to select the shape that I drew, and I'm going to hold Ctrl or Command on the Mac, click on select, and it is going to make a selection for me. And I'll click on inside the mask that I made around the first one, and I'm going to use my brush tool. So shortcut is B. Then I'll reduce the size using the square bracket, and I'm going to try to clean this up. So when I try to clean, you see that it is cleaning inside of this, so I don't want it that way. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to hold Ctrl+Shift+I to invert the mask. Then I'm going to paint outside instead of painting inside. So this is how it's going to be. But be careful, if you go to the top, it's going to clean the top. But what you can do is that you can change the foreground to white, and you paint white, and it will bring those lost places back. Then when you are done, Ctrl+D to deselect the selection, and you are going to get something like this. Alright, and also we can change the color of the background to maybe red or any color of your choice, and we can also brighten this image up, but we will do that later. So from here we are done with the image part. What we are going to do next is that we are going to try to wrap a text around this image and also add the other informations that is needed. Alright, so with our text tool selected, we will start with a call to glory. Then I'll change the color to black, or let me use red instead, and I'm going to make it larger. So we can go to window and we search for character, and we are going to get the character panel, and I'm going to increase this one. So let me increase it, bring it inside. Alright, so something like this is okay. Then I'm going to add a glow effect so that we can see it well when we print it out. So click on the effects and click on outer glow, and with the outer glow we select white, and I will increase the size and I will increase the speed. Then let me increase the opacity, so let me reduce the size a bit. Alright, so something like this is okay. So this was before and after. You see how much it makes the text stand out. So from here I'm going to copy my chief mones. With the help of my pencil, I'm going to make a selection around this place, and you see that at the end of the day, when we print this image out, they are going to print it out. So this one is going to be the bleed area. The bleed area is a place where when you are cutting out something, it's going to cut out. So you will try to avoid the cutout area. So with the pen tool selected, let me hold the shift key to make a straight line. Then I can make another point here, and I'll click and hold drag to make a curve selection or a curve path. Then I'll drag to make a curve path again. Then I'll try to end this place. Then I'll hold the shift to make a straight line, then another straight line, and from here I'm going to click the text tool, and you see that when I bring the text inside, you see that I can have the option to paste. So click once, and I'm going to reduce the size, but before then let me change the font to Lato, and I'm going to use the regular Lato and reduce the size to maybe 12. And also you see that this one is caps, so I don't want it caps. Then I'll click on that to uncaps it, and then I'll go to the paragraph and I'll make sure that I select the justify last left, then Ctrl V to paste my text, and you see my text. Then I'll change my text to black, and I'll try to increase the spacing, but let me come to the character tool, and I'll increase the text size to maybe 16 or even 18. Alright, so I'll zoom in and I'm going to highlight the chief mones, and I'll change this one to bold, and I'll also make it caps, and lastly I'll change this color to white red. So this one is going to help the text to stand out. Then from here I'm going to tap the enter key twice, then Ctrl V to paste, And also I'm going to do the same thing here. So what I can do is that let me copy the chief monets, Control V to replace, but I'll change this one to father. So this is how simple you can wrap a text around image like this. Very simple. Then from here I'll add this vector, award vector. I'm going to put the age on this one too. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to select my pen tool. Then I'm going to just type in the age. Then I'll change this one to maybe bold, and I'm going to use white, of course, for this, and change the size to maybe 35. I can still increase it further to maybe 45. Let's see. Okay, so 45 isn't bad. Then I'm going to add the aged, decrease the size to maybe 12. So from here you see how simple and where we have gotten to. So what you are going to do is that we are going to add the rest of the text beneath here. So I'm going to try to add a video to this. Then from here I'm going to separate this one 3 times. Alright, so with the text tool selected, I'm going to make a shape like this, and I'm going to paste all the text inside. But before then, you see that this one is caps, so I'll change from all caps, and I'm going to also leave it at regular, and I'm going to paste that. So this is all of the text. So you just go through and you do the necessary changes that it have to be done, and change this one to maybe 12. Alright, so from here I'm just going to highlight these places and put in the necessary information. So here is brothers and sisters. So I'm going to do this throughout all of them. Alright, so at the end of the day, when you take your time to do all of these things, this is how it's going to look like at the end of the day. This is how it's going to look like at the end of the day. So from here, we are going to add the funeral arrangement here. So we will do the same thing by taking the text tool, and I'm going to draw another shape. Then with my funeral text ready, Control V to paste in, and I'm going to reduce the size to maybe 12. And I'm going to arrange this one as such. So I'll change this one to bold, change this one to red, and I'll do the minor changes as it's supposed to be. So no wiki pin. Highlight this text, make it red, then make this one caps. Then I'm going to align this one to the center, and I'm going to underline this. Then also let me bolden this one, so I'll change from regular to bold. So from here we go to burial. So let me try to leave a space. Then I'll do the same thing. Red, change to bold, then all caps. The next one, funeral rites. So red, bold, and all caps. Thanksgiving, family gathering, so I'll do the same thing as I did earlier, and I'll be right back. With my text tool selected, I'll just, all friends and sympathizers are cordially invited. Increase the size to maybe 15, and let me use maybe semi-bold. Then I'm going to make all of them caps. Then I'll make sure that it is being aligned to the center, and all COVID-19 protocols must be strictly observed. So bold, let me give it a red fill, and also align this one to center. Alright, so basically this is how you can go about a funeral design or a funeral poster. So let me leave a line here. So I'm going to draw a random line. Then I don't want any stroke, but I want a black fill. Zoom in and I'll make it very small. Then I'll try to put it in the middle. Alright, so at the end of the day, this is how the whole design looks like, and I really love how it turns out to be. Thank you very much for watching this video. Make sure you check out this site so that you can download any of the designs that I have, any of the template that I have posted there. And also you check this blog as inspiration, and it is going to improve your design a lot. Alright, so lastly, what you are going to do is that you need to save your document. So Ctrl S to save it, and also you can save it as a Jpeg file which you are going to share. So that one, I'm going to file, and I'm going to save as a copy. Then I'll have the option to save as a Jpeg file. Click on save and click on OK. So this is the Jpeg file, and you can share with a client. If he approves it, then you can go ahead and print it out for the person. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more tips like this. See you in the next one, and also check your screen, the 2 videos we pick for you to enjoy next. We love you.